Fueled by alcohol.
All right, welcome to another episode of the Squadcast podcast. I'm Wane Tango, your host.
I'm Drimity Boy, or as better known as Patrick, I guess, in some circles.
That one
circle of people that know me.
That one Google circle that nobody has ever been in.
Patrick.bukake.com. I am the Dirty Biscuit.
The soggy biscuit?
Well, I'm dirty first.
The one that everybody is not taking bites out of.
Give them time.
It's not soggy enough yet.
It's not soggy enough.
It's like a moist towelette.
So no, we were talking about this earlier, and we had said, we make a lot of references to semen, and here we are right out the gate.
Yeah,
just filling this podcast full of semen.
Like a submarine.
Thick ropes. Bound to your chest. Also, in case you didn't know, children should probably not be listening to this podcast because it's full of semen.
Yeah, that's a thing.
We are streaming live on YouTube.
We are streaming. This is something that we was just trying for the fun of it.
If you happen to be looking at me right now, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we all are. Yeah, see, this is why we podcast, because we have the particular looks for radio.
Right, my mom always said I had a great face for radio.
I got a body for it, too. I got the wobbly kneecaps.
I was driving down the road, right, the other day, and, every male does this, well, unless you just like dudes, but you probably do this to guys anyway. But you see someone that's attractive on the side of the road, and a lot of times you're like, damn, right? Something that's similar to that. I was driving down the road, and there was this really gorgeous girl walking down the sidewalk, and all of a sudden I turned into what the fuck is his name? Farouk, from the Nation of Domination from wrestling. And I was driving, and I was looking at her, and I was like, damn! And I realized that I had said that out loud, and for the next 15 minutes I was driving going, damn! Damn! Damn!
Just entertaining yourself all day long.
Yeah. Damn! And now I would try saying damn in a whole different way. It was, I'm lonely.
Yeah. See, I have an instance of doing this at Walmart once while I was shopping. And for whatever reason, I was just lost in my own head, just randomly looking at the products on the aisles. And in my head, I had an Arnold Schwarzenegger voice, just saying the product names out loud. And at one point, I stopped at Blueberry Muffins. And I had myself in tears imagining Arnold Schwarzenegger trying to say Blueberry Muffins, but not really getting it out. Come on, it's Blueberry Muffins.
Muffins.
It's Blueberry Muffins.
Come on, get down.
I'm delicious. They're so moist. It melts in your mouth. Betty Crocker, that's my bitch.
Is that the only time that moist is acceptable, is when you're talking about cake or brownies?
No.
Even
moist isn't acceptable in a lot of places. It's just not desirable?
Sure. I mean, moist is one of my favorite words. A lot of people hate it. But the other day we were eating a regular brownie, not a pot brownie, and it was so moist. It was so good. It was the best brownie I'd ever had.
I don't know why people get weirded out, but I do know several people, you say moist, and you watch them just kind of like draw up.
Yeah.
And it's like, ugh.
Yeah, and what's so bad about it? Everybody gets a little moist from now and then. Every now and then. I can't speak. For you listeners and potential no viewers out there, I have gone on about 2 hours of sleep today, and so if I just start randomly shouting out asinine things, just bear with me.
Yeah, I feel like this podcast is probably just going to be filled with just randomness. Like, we normally have these fairly structured, as we want to talk about the talking points, we almost always will kind of half-ass hash out what we're going to talk about, and then we'll sit down and we'll talk about it, so we seem somewhat prepared. Today,
we started out with semen.
Virtually none of that happened. It was like, hey, let's play around with the live streaming, see if we can make this work. And while we're doing that, let's record a podcast, and fingers crossed, maybe something good will happen.
Well, I mean, if you would like a topic, there are some current events going on today. Well, in the news.
Well, there's a few things that we had touched on that we thought we might talk about. I know there was a few opinions. So, out of the few subjects that we have in the Wheel of Death, what
Stupid.
No, that's not actually a subject. We're just. Why are we always talking about semen?
I don't know.
Okay, that's something I'll say for my therapist.
I'm not even close to gay. I don't get it. I mean, I don't want to play in my own semen, so I don't understand why I'm so enthralled by it. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Thick ropes.
It's the dirty humor.
I think so.
Hey, that's all. Everybody loves. Well, not everybody. People of our caliber love a good dick and fart joke.
I don't care who you are. Everyone loves a dick and fart joke. Everyone, even if they like say that they don't, on the inside they're going, "That was pretty."
Like I'm stone faced, but inside I'm chuckling.
Quite stoic. I am the Eddard Snow. I don't know who that is. I'm going to sleep.
You're just saying words and then making noises after.
Anyway, current events.
Hi, I'm Jim Carrey.
What?
All right, so current events. All right, so this is kind of relevant to where we live for sure. There was a lady, Nikki Burgess. She went missing roughly a year ago. This is the beginning parts of November. I think we're tracking at November 3rd.
Is it a year or 2 years?
It's been a year.
Okay.
It's been a year. It's probably over a year, but it's at least a year plus. But she went missing. She's a friend of mine. She's known by a lot. If you Google her name, you'll find a lot of stuff come up. Anyway, she turned up missing, and the case has been perplexing at best, and I'm surprised it hasn't caught more attention elsewhere. But all signs point to baby daddy did it.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like, at least anecdotally, there's a lot of evidence pointing directly towards this guy, like cadaver dogs that hit on his trunk.
Yeah.
They found bloody brass knuckles. There was a bloody sheet. Even their son had said, "I think my dad killed my mom.
Right.
I'm probably never going to see her again."
Mm-hmm.
Which is heart-wrenching.
Well, it took them forever to really even do anything because they couldn't find her for the longest time.
Well, there's still no body.
Right, but they have went ahead and arrested him now, right?
Yeah, they finally charged him with first-degree murder.
Mm-hmm.
We still don't know what the evidence is. We know that he's on a $750,000 bond. He has been fired from his job.
Yep.
That was an online petition that got that through. He hasn't made any public statements, which is kind of strange, especially if you're touting yourself as an innocent person. Like, it seems like he would have come out at some point and been like, "Look, we may have not got along, but that ain't me."
Right. Well, maybe he knows better now at this point.
It's guilty conscious.
Yeah. But
he is arrested. He is in custody. They had a custody hearing. I think custody has been awarded
to her friend, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I was told. That's what I read.
That's what I've read as well.
Yeah. And he's held on bond, and hopefully he'll be arraigned, and maybe more details will come out about this.
Hopefully he'll just. I mean, if he did it, I mean, I'm assuming that he did. I don't know either of these people very well. You know what I'm saying? But if there's smoke, there's probably fire. So hopefully he'll be the bigger person and just admit what happened and let her family have some.
If that is what happened.
I mean, who knows?
I don't necessarily trust the media, but what has come out, I mean, it really seems like he's the guy. And if he's not the guy, he knows something that he hasn't let the rest of us know about.
But she was a pretty big deal in this area here, and I know that also in Nashville, because that's where she moved to there for.
Yeah, she was living in the Hermitage, I believe.
Yeah.
She was a pinup model.
Yep.
Beautiful girl.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful girl.
So, hopefully there'll be some peace in that section. However, moving on to a not as sad, but Also, interesting topic. Kung Fury. Has anyone watched it?
Actually, let's skip that one and
No.
circle back around to it because I don't want to go from
Oh,
actual
man.
violence to movie violence.
But this is good violence because it's laser raptors.
Well,
Okay.
the other one, there's some violence in the other one. You just aren't as aware because you're a terrible person somehow.
Carry on.
Okay, so
Oh, I know what you're going.
yeah. So
Okay.
today released a new trailer, a cartoon trailer, because I'm a big kid at heart.
Same.
I have a toddler, so I have the perfect excuse to go watch all the latest new cartoon movies when they come out.
Mhm.
Even if I didn't have him, I would still be on top of these things because,
Because that's you.
yeah, that's me. That's my sense of humor. That's where I'm at. I love those.
And not only that, but this particular topic. I mean, you have a particular moniker that you go by.
That's right.
Could you address it for the viewers?
In close circles, I'm known as the Panda.
The panda.
For good reason. You know, I'm big,
Right.
I'm bear-like,
Uh-huh.
and I have a penchant for Asian flair.
Right.
I'm a little lazy.
Okay. And so
But voracious.
well, yeah, and not.
So what we're alluding to,
You don't eat bamboo.
I do whenever I go to Chinese buffets.
Oh.
Because it's in so much of the things that I enjoy. So I have to say, technically, I do eat bamboo, just not raw shoots.
Okay.
But anyways, all right. Today, I was very excited to see that they released the trailer for Kung Fu Panda 3.
Bum, bum, bum. Here's a huge thing. I didn't even know they made a Kung Fu Panda 2.
Which is terrible because both of those movies are really good.
Well,
Arguably, the first movie was better than the second.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. So, only knowing of the first movie, but they did build onto the lore. And here's the thing that they established in the second movie, and that frustrated me for so long because there was a long break in between those two movies. I'm thinking there was 4 years
this is probably why I didn't know about it.
between Kung Fu Panda 2 and this one. So I'm going to spoil the movie if you haven't watched Kung Fu Panda 2.
I haven't, so it's okay.
But I'm sure you're not really that worried about being spoiled for kids' movie,
No.
cartoons, or whatever.
No. Well, first off, just so you, because right there, I take some offense to that because there's no such thing as a kids movie. Everyone loves cartoons.
It makes you feel good.
It makes me feel so good.
All right,
I love cartoons.
There's good cartoon movies and there's bad cartoon movies. But a good one, it doesn't matter how old you are, it makes you feel good.
Right. I love cartoons.
And I get good feels every time I watch Kung Fu Panda.
Okay.
Every time. The first and the second one.
So spoil on me. On me here.
So, all right, just so you get an idea of the synopsis of the second Kung Fu Panda, he is the Kung Fu legend.
Sure.
And
Oh.
So he basically goes out. There's a peacock and another city that has cannons, which is kind of bringing them. Yeah, it's kind of bringing them into the modern era. The Kung Fu masters.
The fuck is a peacock doing with cannons?
He's actually trying to take over the entire country of China. Like he's not just happy with taking over a small province.
Yeah.
So he goes in and he's doing this through legitimate firepower. So the Kung Fu masters of old can't hang with it.
Right, because they don't have guns at this point. Because
No.
this is feudal China, right?
Right. This is Kung Fu masters coming in.
Yeah.
Po learns a new technique from Master Shifu. Shows up. It's a big, long back and forth, but at the end of it, he masters this new technique. And basically, they shoot cannons at him.
It's not the skadoosh, right?
It's not the skadoosh. Well, he does say skadoosh on one of them, but he's throwing the cannonballs back at them and destroys everything. And they can't hang. And he's even being nice to him at the end. It's like, look, it doesn't have to be like this. You don't have to be mean and evil. And the guy's like, screw you, you're going down. And he ends up taking him out. Like, it's looted in a permanent fashion.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so the big reveal at the very end of it is that they keep pulling back and they keep pulling back.
Spoiler alert.
Spoilers. All of that was spoilers. They keep pulling back, and then you see a mountaintop in the clouds, and then it comes a little bit closer in, and you see other pandas. Okay, so the whole time you kind of getting like taste of his backstory of how he ended up at the noodle shop with his father, the duck, and then you see his actual father, voiced by Brian Cranston.
Ooh.
Yes.
Well, now I have to watch it.
Yeah. See, now if you're not excited about that one thing, you probably don't have any feels. And if you're unsure who Bryan Cranston is,
Let me tell you.
he's all right. First off, he's the father from Malcolm in the Middle.
But most importantly,
He's Walter White.
he is Walter motherfucker. Say my name.
Heisenberg.
You're damn right. I'm the one who knocks. I'm the danger. Love it.
All right. So if you haven't been excited about a movie of Kung Fu pandas, now Bryan Cranston's part of that world.
Okay, well, I have to watch it now.
Yeah.
I need to get caught up. So, and there's a third one coming out. So
that is the third one that we're
Right.
alluding to.
Right.
His actual father shows up, voiced by Bryan Cranston, and he goes back to the panda village to teach them kung fu.
I wonder if it's going to be an evil twist and it's not really his father.
Yeah, highly doubtful.
Did I just spoil something that shouldn't be spoiled?
No.
With something that isn't got a spoiler yet?
No, we knew it was Bryan Cranston was his father in the first one. It was fairly well established. It showed him as a baby, and then his father's voice talking.
But did you hear Bryan Cranston?
Yeah.
Was it Bryan Cranston in the first one?
In the second.
Oh, was it the second? Oh, see, that's why I didn't say it. Okay.
Yeah, there was flashbacks all throughout,
Okay.
and it was Jack Black's voice voicing all the pandas in his flashback memory.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah,
But at the very end, when it was doing the pull away,
sure.
and then it showed all the pandas living in this village, hidden away from, because the pandas was being exterminated by that peacock. It's weird. You just need to watch it. It's funny. You'll love it.
I will then.
It's good fun. If you enjoyed the first one, you'll enjoy the second one.
I like good fun,
So this I'm probably more excited about this than I should be.
but not more excited about this than Star Wars.
Oh God, no, not even.
Did you get your ticket already?
I haven't bought my ticket yet.
What's wrong with you?
Well, if I was going to IMAX or one of the marathon showings, I would probably have bought my ticket by now. By the way, do you know what the pre-sale is up to this point?
No.
I haven't checked it today, but I checked it yesterday. It was over 10 million.
God
Pre-sales. The only things that were showing sold out was the marathon showings and the IMAXs. So if you was wanting to see Star Wars opening night in IMAX or one of the theaters showing marathon, you probably are out of luck, because chances are you're not going to be able to get a ticket. As of right now, while we're broadcasting, you probably wouldn't be able to buy a ticket. And by the time this re-airs for your consumption, then you definitely wouldn't be able to get your ticket, because those are probably all sold out.
Got my ticket. You can't see it, but I got it. I'm really excited for that. I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah, I
was talking to my brother about some of it too, and he now if you haven't heard the podcast that I was on the last time, that was all we talked about was Star Wars for the most part.
As of right now, for the live viewers,
Yeah.
that hasn't posted.
Well, I know it's coming out soon.
That's going to post tomorrow morning.
Okay, we'll see. By the time they hear this, then they should have heard it. If that's anyway. Regardless, I had mentioned that I was staying, really far away from internet speculation of, is he Luke Skywalker? I mean, is it whatever? I don't buy into any of that. I try not to read any articles that talk about the characters, this, that, and the other. I just watched the trailers. That's all I watched. But my brother has been reading up quite a bit about it, and he is also excited about it. But I don't think he's quite as excited as I am. But we were, I don't know. We were talking about it, a lot of different characters, and what is the Empire going by now? It's the first. No, they're the First Order now. They've changed their name from the Empire, just like the Rebels are not the Rebels now. They're something else.
That's something that's probably slipped through the cracks for me then.
Yeah,
because they're still using the Empire's logo.
Yeah, but they're now called.
And the Rebels are still using the Rebels logo.
The First Order, I think, or maybe I'm getting that.
I think you're thinking of a subsect of the Empire.
Maybe. Well, there's
because the First Order is definitely something, but it's the First Order of the 501st that's more of the Clone Troopers, as my understanding, which I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again. We may need to take just a second to check something out, because I just got a text asking me when I'm doing the podcast live. So there may be issues with this going on. It says live. Let's see. Now we're going to take a pause just for 1 second to see if we can figure out what's going on here. Okay, so I'm just going to hit play and see what happens here. Yep, that's us live. Well, there's a delay, but yeah, that's definitely us. Okay. So apparently we're live.
Are we still recording?
Let's see. Are we still recording? Yeah, we're definitely recording. Everything's good, as far as we can tell. Yeah, it says live. Here's the. You know what's weird about the live YouTube broadcast is that you can rewind it. Okay, my friend Jeremy said he was watching. What's up, Jeremy? Glad you're watching, brother. Get well soon. He's been a bit under the weather. So, I guess we can. Yeah, he's watching. I can see him there. So, where's the chat at? No, there's a chat here somewhere. Oh well. Anyways. Okay, so back to what we was talking about. Was you trying to verify the first order? And all that?
Well, I wasn't looking too far into it. I just know that they're led by. They didn't really give him a. They gave him Supreme Chancellor Snoke.
Yeah,
he's the leader of the First Order.
Yeah, we still haven't seen Snoke.
Right. Well, I mean, we know who's playing him, but well, from what they tell us, they could tell us anything. You know?
Yeah. All right. So I wanted to talk to you about this because we was kind of flirting with the idea of Luke Skywalker possibly
being Kylo Ren.
Right.
Right. And I don't necessarily 100% feel that he is, but man, wouldn't that be a cool twist? But now I have a different thought process on that. Now that I've had time to reflect on it, I have a feeling that Kylo Ren is whoever he is. He's Kylo Ren, and there's
the
Rens.
There's just a couple of facts I did want to throw out.
Throw them.
Okay.
Throw them.
So one, there is a actor that has been named as Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
Okay, and he has a 3-picture deal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And with that being said, I don't think J.J. Abrams, being the master trickster that he is, wouldn't be above signing somebody to a 3-picture deal. Just pull a big prank on all of us.
Sure.
Because he has been very much under wraps on this.
And as he should be, because nobody should be spoiled this, because this is something that you should watch from front to end and just be like, I didn't see any of that coming.
Yeah, and the second thing is Kylo Ren, that's not his actual name.
Right, that's like a Darth name, if you will.
It's a title of sorts. It's of the...
Because there's several other Rens, are there not?
Kylo...
or is it Kylos?
No, it's the Knights of Ren.
Knights of Ren, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
There's like 10 of them or something.
I don't know. I'm wanting to say in the trailer it showed more than one.
Yeah, there was definitely a squad of these motherfuckers. But now, the only one, unless I misviewed it, but we watched this thing like 50 times, but the only one that had a lightsaber was Kylo, which makes me think that he is the only one that has a lightsaber, so therefore he was trained by somebody who is lightsaber proficient, which lets me think maybe Luke trained him. Maybe Luke went dirty. Maybe he's bad. Because they're saying that Kylo is definitely not a Sith. Right. He's just, a rogue, if you will.
They haven't confirmed that he's a Sith. They just said he's a dark user of the Force.
Yeah. Which makes
do you know where we're getting that wording from? Mm-mm. His toys.
Oh, okay.
His toy package.
Okay. Well,
because they're doing.
I didn't mean to pop that mic.
They're doing very well with these. If you remember back in the prequel days, they spoiled so much stuff because they released the soundtrack ahead of the
death of Qui-Gon Jinn.
Yeah, so that was one of John Williams' music pieces was called "The Death of Qui-Gon Jinn." 3/4 of the way through the soundtrack, so it's kind of like, well, I guess he's dead. And then in the Attack of the Clones, the Christopher Lee we didn't know what his role was. We just knew he was a person in the movie that was substantial to some point, but we didn't know who he was. And his toy packaging was Darth Tyrannus. So that was kind of spoiled there. So with all these new toys, I guess Disney's a little more clever about these things.
Well, yeah.
And
hindsight's 2020.
Well, I think that has a lot to do with JJ's influence. Like, he has kept this thing so locked down. The spoilers that has come out, he's been completely okay with. Apparently, one spoiler has leaked that he is very upset about, and apparently, it completely undoes the mythos for who Luke Skywalker is. So there's a lot of people out there that already understands and knows what's going on. And they could be some of our listeners and laughing like, oh, you idiots. And I'm sure we're going to come back and listen to this and be like, hey, what's kind of off on that?
Yeah, had we not seen that coming.
Yeah.
But again, I've just been kind of going off of what I'm looking at. I'm not reading anything else outside of what Star Wars releases.
Yeah, because we have immediately said that we are spoiler free up to this point. We haven't looked at any of the unofficially released information that's come out. I only want to know the stuff about the new movie that Star Wars, that J.J. Abrams, that Disney wants me to know about this movie before I go watch it. Because I'm sure there is going to be plenty of surprises. Plenty of surprises. And there's already like 4 or 5 dedicated characters that we know about that was in Vanity Fair that we have seen nothing about. By the way, I'm going to have to put this up on the Facebook page later. Speaking of which, if you haven't subscribed and liked us on our Facebook page, it's facebook.com/the Squadcast.
The Squadcast.
The Squadcast. Make sure you go and like. And what we'll do is some of these things that we talk about, we'll link back to later and put it on there. But there's a master cut of, it's like a remix trailer, but they've taken all the footage that's been released up to this point and mashed it all together. And it's really cool. But here's the one thing that kind of scratched my head about it is we only have 4 minutes and 30 seconds of unique film that we've seen up to this point. Oh, and there's one thing else I wanted to touch on with the trailer while we was still on this subject. There's one thing that we missed at the very end of the trailer. The music that was playing, and I don't know how I didn't catch this before, but the song that was playing was Luke's theme. From
so it was in the trailer.
So there you go.
We'll have to go back and watch it later.
Yeah, I want to go back and have a look at it again.
Just a little reanalyzation.
I was literally listening to the trailer whilst. Don't ask me why I was listening to the trailer while I was driving today.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, well, I do that so I can pay closer attention to the music and the sounds, and be less overwhelmed by the visuals.
Yeah,
because I'm that level of dork. And I'm an audiophile. Right. So I was sitting there listening to it, and the last piece of music that plays is Luke's theme. So I kind of want to go back and see what was actually on screen while that was playing, because that could have been the one nod to Luke that we've gotten to this point. Could have been.
Sorry, somebody's messaging me, and it's kind of important. Anyway.
Do we need a break?
No, we're good. We're good.
Okay.
So let's train away from the Star Wars, because we'll be on this all night if we don't.
Yeah, I think we've pretty much hit most of the high points. Unless you had something else you wanted to add to that.
No.
I said you and your brother was talking.
Well, everything's speculation. We were just I had speculated to him that I wonder if Kylo was trained by Luke potentially.
I want Luke to be the bad guy.
I do too. I want him to be an evil, dirty, grimy bastard, because that was the original idea for him. That was what was supposed to happen. And when I can't remember who was the writer that did that. I didn't brush up for this topic, so I'm sorry.
Okay, if you're getting into the expanded universe, which is not
no, I'm talking about Return of the Jedi. The original idea was for him to become Sith. was for him to actually go to the dark side. And
are you talking about the original screenplay?
Yeah, the original movie. And I think that I could be wrong, but I think that they did a study, because I know that they had did a study about when in Empire Strikes Back, when Darth said, I am your father, and the iconic no, that they had to reiterate that he wasn't lying by making Yoda say, by the way, he's your dad for serious.
Right.
Because who can not trust Yoda? Why would he lie? But Darth Vader has every reason to lie because he's evil, right?
Who could trust a Sith master?
Right. So, but they had to do a study on that. And that's why, that they wrote that in the third movie was for positive affirmation. I don't know. I can't word today. But the original idea for Luke was to be a dark badass. And people didn't respond to that well, so they decided to keep him.
See, I'm not sure that's 100% accurate. I want to go in and look at it. I know the original screenplay was heavily edited.
Yeah, I'll find my sources for you and link you to them.
But I also know that for beyond the movie, George Lucas wanted Luke to eventually dabble in the dark.
Yeah.
So what he ended up doing is the expanded universe, which is now considered Legends. So if you go back and read some of those books, I think I Jedi is the one specifically that follows this. But Luke goes off. He goes into exile. The Empire is falling. The rebels are struggling. It's not that one-hit wonder. Empire knocks out. There's still a lot to be fixed. So Luke goes into seclusion for a very long time, and whenever he reemerges, he's mastered completely not just the light side but the dark side as well, and he's kind of somewhere in the middle. He's
grimy,
he's gray. I guess I don't know what that would technically be, but he was also a little weird. He'd been in seclusion for 20 something years. But then again, they may do that, they may not. I think it'd be kind of cool.
Well, and here's the thing, because that was canon at one point, and now it's not.
Well, now it's just considered Legends, which what they say was that Legends now is they're probably going to be influenced by, but is not canon anymore. So you can't take it as hard truth. So.
But in those 30 years of seclusion, who knows how much force lightning he was shooting out the tips of his fingers,
Oh yeah, he definitely learned those things. Whenever he come back, he made Vader and
his bitch,
and Palpatine look like bitches in the Force,
right?
But you remember the the trailer for Force Unleashed where Starkiller He's doing incredible things, like he's pulling a
whole Star Destroyer down with his one hand.
Yeah. It's like that, amped up slightly more.
Yeah.
So it's pretty ridiculous.
I really like those games, by the way. Those were a lot of fun.
They was a whole lot of fun to play.
They was a whole lot of fun.
The first one was way too short, though.
I agree. It was really short, and I honestly wanted to play more as Darth Vader in that opening scene.
Yeah.
I wanted just a whole game of that. Force push a Wookiee. Speaking of video games, let's talk about some video games.
Yeah, let's talk about some video games.
I love.
We have a couple of different things that we can talk about that we thought was going to talk about. We may or may not get to all these things.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to do this forever.
No.
Not forever.
Not forever.
So, which one do you want to go on to?
Well,
because I think this one kind of flows into that. So you want to start here?
So people don't see what you're saying.
Yeah, I know. But I'm asking you.
This is your show. You go where you want to go, and I'll follow.
Okay, so one of our listeners, Jason, not Jason the co-host, but another Jason, which I may get him on the show at some point. But anyways, he gave me a great suggestion. We was talking about video games, and I'm a big retro gamer. Jason, my regular co-host, is a huge retro gamer. He almost exclusively plays console-based games pre-internet. But I'm sure we all remember Doom.
Oh, yeah.
everybody's played some iteration of Doom, whether it was on a console or it was on PC.
PC was my version.
Or maybe a modern,
A revisioned,
reimagined version of it.
I know that you can get it on PlayStation 3. You can just get it.
And Xbox 360.
Yeah. They have a new version of it though.
Well, it's not really new because it's been around.
Sure, but I mean, okay.
But somehow I didn't know about this until sometime in the last year.
My good friend Dave, Dave Rains, who was actually in the Sigma Squad for like a minute. He turned me on to this actually, and he showed it to me on his PC. He's like, "Check this out," and it was so cool. If you guys don't know what we're talking about a brutal Doom.
So here's the idea of Doom. Doom was a really fun game. It was buggy, it was glitchy, but it was still a good game.
Yeah.
So what these guys did, it was like, okay, how about what would happen if we took this game in its graphic state and just fixed all the bugs and kept adding things, add new maps. Let's make this game better.
And new weapons. They gave several new weapons.
Here's the biggest thing about it is Doom was choked down originally because they thought the game was, I don't think the word actually was brutal, but we're going to use that word.
Yeah. Well, it was very visceral, even for at the time that it came out.
At the time, it was extremely graphic.
I mean, you bust out a shotgun, there's a demon running at you, a Nazi demon at that, or whatever you were at part of that level, and it runs at you. You chamber the shotgun, you blow its head off, and literally parts are flying everywhere, guts are everywhere, blood is everywhere. And at that time, when that came out, if your mom had caught you playing that, that's got to go.
Doom was a terrifying game to play alone in the dark.
Yeah, especially with headphones on.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. It was just a creepy game, especially in the full screen, and like, oh my god, you would get so intense on that.
Mm-hmm.
But Brutal Doom is this super fast, super smooth running version that is extra gory. They updated some of the sound fonts to it. Guns.
The guns sound amazing in the game.
Oh, it is. It is what Doom should have been from the start.
And well, they also they reskinned it a little, not a lot. They cleaned it up some.
For the smooth. From what I understand, what you see now is the full upscaled version
of what you should have gotten,
of what it could have been in the original release.
Right, but consoles couldn't handle it at that time. They didn't have the processing
power.
It
was PC. PCs was able to run it at the highest resolution, but at the highest resolution it was still pretty crappy because keep in mind this was like 94, 95. Mm-hmm. So I think Brutal Doom started in 2005. Mm-hmm. I think that's what I looked up on their page, and they've been running and updating. And this is apparently a community effort.
Yeah,
it's
still going strong.
Just some of the craziest coders, because I was going through and I was looking. There are so many iterations of this. I don't think it cost anything.
No.
I think anybody can just go and download it. I can be wrong about that because I did check on that.
No, it's free to get. I'm pretty sure that there are some pay-to-play versions or mods or whatever, what have you, but probably not. If they are, they've got to be dirt cheap because, that's just how these people are. But
it's a community-fed game.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's really cool.
If you want to just veg out and play a classic style video game you don't even have to try to beat the game, but please do try. You don't even have to. You can just go in there and load it up and just go ham on someone. Oh man. Note to self: no more podcasts on 2 hours of sleep.
Right. Well, you're doing all right. You're a little punchy, but you're all right.
Another video game I am so excited about.
How excited are you?
I'm so excited.
So excited!
Oh my god. If you don't know, there's a Kickstarter project out right now that I don't know how I want to break this down because originally it was just an homage to crap. I keep hitting that. It was an homage to Friday the 13th. And if you haven't seen this, just hold your panties. I'm about to drop all this on you. But there was these guys that got together and they wanted to create this game that was just basically looked like Friday the 13th, and it was based on one person gets to control the Jason-like character, and 7 other people get to control the camp counselors in a place that's very similar to Camp Crystal Lake, right? And the whole idea of this game is you as the Jason-like character has to kill all 7 of the camp counselors before they get on the boat and leave, because the Jason-like character is afraid of water, and It was just such a huge nudge to it that they contacted Kane Hodder, and they contacted
Who's that?
Randy Greenback, the guy that started it. It's from Gun Media. They contacted who's Kane Hodder?
Yeah.
Oh, he's the guy that played the most recent Jasons.
Okay.
And what's his damn name? Ronnie Hobbs, that's his name, and Tom Savini. They heard about this project, and they were like, "That's somebody wants to make a video game out of our movie that's not the shitty NES version that we had." And so they flew him out.
Okay, I don't know how many iterations of Friday the 13th has been made into video games. I know I've played at least 2.
I think there's only been 1.
There's at least 2. I have played 2.
I know of only 1, but
there was one on the NES and there was one on the Super.
I don't know about that. I don't remember, but I know the original one came out in '89 from the who did it? LGN? Yeah, the guys with the rainbow. Yeah. That's the guy who did and it was terrible. It was fucking awful.
Right.
You only got to play as one, the camp counselors, and you had to get rid of Jason, who would just randomly appear out of nowhere, and you had to try to kill him, and you couldn't. It's pretty much impossible. You just basically had to avoid him the whole time. You could hit him enough that he would go away, but for the most part, you had to avoid him.
Right.
But in this one, you actually get to be Jason. So the whole idea for you is to kill the camp counselors before they leave, and you win. You can't kill Jason; he cannot die because
he's Jason.
Jason Voorhees.
Right.
And it's just they got it right. What they're doing with it is they're getting it right. They have the 7 camp counselors, and they don't have character names. They are the jock. They are the cheerleader. They are the edgy guy. And it's just all kinds of characters that have been stereotyped in these games. And
you mean the movies?
I'm sorry, yeah, in the movies. And the whole purpose is for you as Jason is to kill them before they get out. And they award you on the most creative kills that you can come up with. Like if you can stuff a cheerleader into a sleeping bag and smack her against a tree until she's a bloody pudding, bonus points for you. But they started, I can't remember when the Kickstarter was originally posted.
Okay, 2 things. I just want to throw out there.
Go for it.
First off, if I'm going to be one of the counselors, right? I don't think most people, as soon as they play this game, they want to be a counselor. I think most people want to be Jason.
Of course.
They're going to be a counselor, waiting eagerly for their turn.
Right.
Okay. This being said, number 1.
Kill me quickly.
Number 1, if you're one of the teens having sex, you're going to die.
Yeah.
Number 2, if you're the black kid, you're going to die first.
That sucks, too. That sucks. The only movie that I've ever seen where the black guy didn't die first was Night of the Living Dead. He was the hero. The only one. The only one. Well, classically, since then, there's been several more. But,
yeah, I don't like pushing forward stereotypes or anything.
No.
But if there has been a more established movie trope, it has to be that one.
Yeah,
that is the most concrete thing.
That the black guy dies first?
The teens having sex, guaranteed dead.
Yeah.
The black guy dies first.
Yeah.
Okay. That happens, all right, especially in the 80s movie tropes.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I was making this game and you ended up drawing one of those 2 characters, you get a handicap.
You fucked. But yeah, I'm very excited about it. They as of now, I have it pulled up here. They have 9,036 backers, and their pledged goal was $700,000. They are at $602,808 right now.
Very close.
And they have 10 days to go, so I really think that they'll make it.
If that's 100,000 in 2 days.
I know. 10
days.
10
I'm
days.
sorry.
10 days.
My math is
bad. It's
terrible.
okay. It's okay. But if I pledge 50,000 and you pledge 50,000, then we are going to get this game.
Do you have 50,000?
Yes. No. But the amazing thing about it is Kickstarter is so cool because you can just come up with an idea.
But there's a lot of amazing things that's happened because it's Kickstarter.
You can come up with an idea, and if you're passionate about it and you really, really work hard, or if you actually, even if you don't work hard, your project's going to get put out there if you put the work in. You know, and the reason why I said if you don't work really hard is
here's the Bible projects always rise to the top.
Right. But there was a guy that did a potato salad run. Do you remember that? No? Okay. I'm going to misquote a lot of this because it's been a while, but there was a guy who had put on his Kickstarter, give me X amount of dollars, I want to make potato salad, and he made like $150,000 in one day. And it was crazy because when he saw that people were just like, okay, and everybody was throwing money at him, he was like, you know what? I'm going to take all this money and I'm going to buy a pizza. And everybody who's donated to this, of course, we're going to make potato salad because that's the point, but everybody who's donated to this, you get an invitation to come out here and you can party with us all the way. There's not going to be any question. You show up, you can hang out.
Interesting.
Stupid. Absolutely stupid that we have debt and hungry people in this country, but someone can get $100-something thousand for fucking potato salad. But the devil is in the
that is on the stupid end of the spectrum of Kickstarter.
Right, but I love
there's so much more on the awesome spectrum.
Oh man. Basically, if you have a dream and you're passionate about it and you just need the money and you work hard and you sell the vision as you should, it can happen.
Well, if you have something that you're passionate about, you're capable of doing, and it's something that people actually want, you could viably go to Kickstarter and make it happen.
Oh yeah, which is awesome.
All right, one of my favorite YouTubers of all time, Freddie Wong.
Freddie Wong's awesome.
His series, Video Game High School, completely 100% funded through Kickstarter. Overly funded. And they set a budget for the first season, I think, at $400,000 or $500,000, and they way overshot it. It was almost $100,000 or $200,000 over. So when they went to the second season, they're like, okay, this is what we think we need. So if we can get this much, then we're just going to throw it all into the production. None of it went in their pockets. There's like, we're just going to keep making the production more and more crazy. So they're like, everything that we want to shoot is going to cost us like $600,000 or $700,000, and they put it out there, and they got $1 million.
Wow.
Yeah, they got a cool $1 million, but then we ended up getting the drift scenes that was in season 2.
Yeah.
By professional drifters, Von Gittin. He actually drove one of the cars, he's like one of the biggest names in the drift circuit.
But what we're saying is Kickstarter is the shit.
It's cool.
I remember seeing, and I had mentioned.
I'm happy that it exists.
Me too.
Because it may not be making all of our lives that much more better and rich, because not all of us is getting $100,000 to make potato salad.
Let's put it this way: they brought back Reading Rainbow in one day. One fucking day. That's power. That's actually putting power in people's hands, which is more than what I can say for our government.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is the upside to a capitalistic economy.
Right.
We vote with our dollars.
Yep.
If you want something,
pay for it.
You vote for it with your dollars. Here's the thing: if you don't like something, don't pay for it.
Right.
It's that simple.
Yeah. Boycott it, or whatever you got to do.
You don't necessarily have to boycott.
Well, I use boycott as a very generalized term. Like, I boycotted McDonald's for a long time. If you're looking at this right now, look, I clearly did not. But I boycotted them for bad service, and then they started giving good service again, so I started going there. But boycott, like I said, loosely coined term there. But the most joy that I get out of these kind of things is like, I'd mentioned Kung Fury earlier, and that was originally a Kickstarter project as well.
All right, before we get there, there's something else that
is
related to what you just said.
Would you please let me get my Kung Fury nut off?
I will make this super fast.
Okay.
All right, you mentioned McDonald's.
Yeah.
McRib, come back today.
I know, and I'm avoiding that delicious, awful fucking sandwich.
I've had to.
Fuck you.
They're the most disgusting, random pieces of mystery meat pressed into a rib shape, slathered in terrible barbecue sauce. I have to eat them. I have to eat 2 to 6 of them yearly every time they come out. God damn you, McDonald's, you marketing masterminds.
I was talking to someone else about this the other day, my friend Josiah. We were passing McDonald's, and I'd said basically the same thing. It's this disgusting I can't even call it a patty. It's a disgusting formation of something that looks like ribs, and it has meat bones, okay? It shouldn't have meat-looking
It is a
bones.
molded pressed mystery meat.
Covered in the worst barbecue sauce ever. But somehow, with it matched with those onions and those pickles and that bun, something magically happens. Someone shit in a sandwich and you put it in your mouth and it's still delicious. Fuck the McRib. It is so goddamn awfully good.
I love it. I hate it. I love to hate it.
I know.
And I'm going to talk about it every time it happens.
I'm going...
McDonald's is goddamn geniuses with these things. Because here's the thing. They could serve that sandwich year-round.
All year round.
They're goddamn McDonald's. They could have figured it. At first, when they released it, I hate that I know this, they literally couldn't do it year-round because they couldn't provide enough of the actual patty.
Right, because everybody was all about it.
No. It wasn't even because it was so popular. They literally had X amount of supply that they could only make. And then whenever that supply went down, that was it. And then after a couple of years, they was able to re-up that supply. And
we can't harvest the meat.
So whenever they put it out again, it sold twice as much as it did the first time.
Right, because people wanted it.
Yeah.
It was gone.
It's like, oh man, you remember when they had the McRib? Those things was good. Really? I never tried one. Well, you can't get it now. Sucks for you.
Yeah. Oh man, I want that mystery sauce.
Right. So now they just do it
For
yearly.
like a month.
Yeah, for like a month or 4 or 5 weeks. I'm not even sure, but it's annually, and it's not even at the same time of year every time. They just figure out, okay, well, we're going to make it for this amount of time, and then whenever this time's over, we're done with production, and we'll do it next year again. And goddamn it, they give me every fucking year.
Yeah.
If that sandwich was on the menu year-round,
You'd never buy them.
maybe once every 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
Tops.
Yeah. Well, you'd probably get more than that, but still.
No, probably every 2 to 3 years, because it would always be there and be like, no, I won't get it this time because it's not really that good of a sandwich.
It's not. It's
It really
not.
isn't.
It's just, it is, though.
It's the rarity. It's rare. I know this sandwich is not that good, but god damn it, it's fleeting. I can only have it for so long. And when that window closes, that window is closed, and I have to wait for the next time.
Well, there was nothing short about that.
Sorry, I had to get my McRib rant off. Now that I busted my McNut, you can talk about your Kung Fury.
Well, I remember seeing a little. It's actually like the first minute, I think, of the movie, but they cut it down to like a 45-second trailer of what Kung Fury could be.
I think it was a 2.5 minute trailer.
Yeah, it was something like that. It was like the first little bit of the movie.
There could have been a lot more talking, but I remember I seen the original Kickstarter trailer today, and it was around 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, it might have even been that one.
And I remember watching this, head just blew off the top of my skull.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. If you took everything magical from the 80s,
Yeah.
that was, Jesus Christ, cop movies, fucking weird dinosaur animatronics, Lisa Frank, smash it all into one thing.
And topped it off with Nazis.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Then you have Kung Fury.
Yeah. Oh, don't forget that Thor is in this movie.
There are so many things worth mentioning. By the way, I don't know if you realize this. I didn't realize it from watching it, but they're all Swedish.
Oh, I know.
This is a Swedish-made film.
I know. Another reason why I'm all about it.
And for some reason, it's just that much more amazing.
Listen, when you have a movie that has a character named Triceratops, I'm not done, whose whole sole purpose is to shoot everyone in the dick. Take my money. All of it. I need you to take this money from me now because I can't pay you fast enough.
I watched it again for probably the 5th time today. I watched it last night. I noticed something today. I was going to save towards the end.
Kung Fury.
Oh my God.
Man.
Razor raptors. They've been extinct for years.
I'm sorry, did you just say razor laptors?
Yeah, for your lap. It's later time.
First mistake. Oh man.
Yeah, so David Sandberg, he's the mastermind of this.
It takes a cop from the future to fight an enemy from the past.
So him, and I guess a couple of his friends, strictly green screen, him just making some kung fu moves, and cut together this amazing trailer of the most hardcore 80s, super over the top, just cocaine fueled, homeless fever dream 80s VCR tracking awesomeness called Laser Unicorns.
Their budget was $600,000, and they made. I mean, it was visually stunning. Actually,
Yeah,
it really was visually stunning, and the kung fu was so good. That scene where he was doing the side-scrolling kung fu, I was blown away.
Yeah,
because you're watching it. He's like, and I'm a cop, and I'm damn good at it, and you're just watching it like, no, this is going to be bad, and it was so good. It was so good.
Do you know what they based that on?
His character?
No.
Or the whole thing?
The whole side-scrolling Nazi fight scene?
It looked like Narc to me.
Bad dudes.
Okay, I see that. Yeah, I can see that now. Okay, yeah. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
That was Bad Dudes.
For sure. Yeah, it was definitely not Narc. Now that I think about it, because there wasn't enough cars and guns and bullets. But
no, it was either
that scene.
It was either that or Double Dragon or something.
It definitely felt like Bad Dudes.
Yeah,
for sure. So good.
Maybe Final Fight.
So
I'm not sure. There were so many side-scrolling beat 'em ups that I was like, oh my god! If a side-scrolling beat 'em up was a real thing, this is exactly what I'm seeing. And he done something that I've wanted to see in a movie for so long.
Which is?
He ripped somebody's arm off and beat them to death with it,
Yeah.
and then used it as a helicopter.
Yeah.
He just spun it on his hand like a fucking basketball, and it levitated him up over a crowd so he can shoot 1,000,000 bullets from his pistol.
So listen, in case you guys out there you haven't actually researched this film, or if you haven't watched it, do yourself a favor, go watch it. It's on Netflix, totally free.
It's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube. You can watch it anywhere. They give this gift to you because this was their passion. So take the time out. It's a 30-minute film.
It was Kickstart funded, which is how we got here.
Right. Just go watch it, support it, send the money if you must. But I want you to know that that David Sandberg is a fucking genius, because there's a scene in the movie in a precinct where there's 100 fucking cops or something. If you don't know this is going to blow your mind. Go back and watch the movie. There was only one uniform that they could afford from their budget because they used all of their money on all this amazing CGI.
Right.
They could only afford one cop outfit, so that scene was literally shot that many times. If you go back and see it, they had to shoot that scene 200 different times.
Wait, you talking about the Nazis?
No, where he was all the cops.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
And the Nazis.
Yeah, but
there was one Nazi. Well, two if you cut the Kung Fu.
Kung Fu. You guys like Kung Fu? Yes, this is good. Yes. Yes. I don't know. My brain just went. Stopped.
If you haven't watched this movie, go watch it. If you have watched it, I know you're giggling with glee, just like we are. And so there was something that I noticed that I don't know if anybody else initially caught, because they didn't make a big deal about it. Okay, so they alluded to a Knight Rider joke.
Well, David Hasselhoff was in the movie.
That's what I'm getting at. Beyond that,
yeah,
he performed a song.
Oh, I know.
The main theme was it #1 Survivor?
True Survivor.
True Survivor.
And actually, if you don't know this is another cool piece of trivia. In that video, there's a white Lamborghini in the David Hasselhoff video. The guy who had that white Lamborghini actually let David borrow that to do the interior shots when he was doing the driving scene. So it's the same exact Lamborghini.
See, I didn't see the music video. I caught that while I was listening to it, and I was like, that sounds like David Hasselhoff singing.
Yeah. That's exactly what I thought. I was like,
is that Hoffman?
Is that the Hoffman? But yeah,
Hoff
that's
3000. Open the door.
It's the same. It's the same.
Hoff 3000. Open the door.
I said, open the goddamn door.
Oh, that is amazing. That is amazing. So much good stuff.
You're in the Viking era. How do you know you're in the Viking era?
Cell phones.
Take my number.
As soon as he said that, dude, I lost it.
Same
I lost it. That chick getting her fucking name, Barbara Zella or whatever, with the Gatling gun on a wolf. Yes. Oh yes. Did you watch the behind the scenes for that?
No.
It was absolutely hilarious because, like I said, this movie was almost entirely shot on green screen. All right. So that particular scene where she just shows up on the back of a wolf.
It was Barbariana, by the way.
There we go. With that scene where she shows up, she's so hot, on the back of a wolf, was her straddling a guy in a green morph suit, and he would hump to make her bump and jiggle and shit. And it is absolutely hilarious because every time he bumps, she starts laughing hysterically. So apparently they had to do this for half the day.
I want to know how many times they had to reshoot just David sitting there with that serious face, because he was holding that shit hard. He was stoic through that whole film. And I don't know how many times he didn't crack. He had to crack up so many times.
The cuts are amazing. Yeah. Everything in this is amazing.
Are you going to need that spine?
It's
holding your back.
There's a couple things that I wish they'd done a little more obsessively, like his tagline, "It's my job." I wish he said that at every opportunity he could.
I was hoping that he said it.
There's a couple of times where you're like, he's going to say it.
Yeah.
He didn't say it.
And I'm damn good at it. I'm disarming you. Maybe we should have got him to play Batman.
Oh my God. Dude, Jason would be so happy. Jason hates Christian Bale. He thinks he is by far and away the worst Batman. We done Batman list, and none of those Batman even made his top 3.
Speaking of Batman, I have to throw this out there real quick. My friend Robert Finley hooked me up with the sweetest fucking posters the other day. In his home, he has these just most random knickknacks because it wasn't his house, to begin with. So he's bound to have just random things in his house. And in the house, there was a poster display of classic 1987 Batman, the first movie with Michael Keaton, Jack Nicholson, and all that. And there was 12 pristine posters.
Nice.
Yeah.
Can you get me one?
I don't know. I don't know how many more he will let come on.
Because I'll put that down here in the studio.
I'll look through the ones that I have because I pulled a bunch of them.
Right.
So I'm framing them and putting them up in my house, and if there's one that just doesn't have room, I'll just throw it down here. But yeah, I don't know if they're worth money or not. I told him not to look it up because they were still in the wrapper, and I had to pull them out to see which ones I was getting.
So all right, so
they were open.
They're unused, but are they originals?
Yeah. Yeah, they could be worth money. They probably aren't, but They could be.
Well, if they was the Walmart ones, or they're probably not worth very much. Right. If they was the actual
official,
if they was the ones that was hanging in the theaters, or was overstocked from that,
No, it wasn't that. It looked like it was a Walmart display or a Kmart or something like that. Okay. But still, pretty cool. Pretty cool. Yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to throw that in there. He hooked me up with really sweet. Oh, and one Spawn poster. It was
nice.
Really sharp looking. Really sharp looking. I think that that maybe his uncle owned a comic book store or something prior to what he does now, because there is I'm talking 400 or 500 boxes of just comics,
just randomness
packed to the brim. Yeah. That he's had. So
yeah, I'm gonna have to get mine situated. Eventually, I'm gonna finish doing up the rest of the studio.
Fuck, that's a laser raptor. I thought they were extinct thousands of years ago. I'm going to quote this movie for the rest of my life.
Probably.
Just so you know.
Probably.
What year is this? It's the Viking Age.
Anytime I agree to do something and somebody thanks me for doing it, I'm just going to be like, it's my job.
I'm damn good at it. I'm sorry, Fury. I can't let you do that.
Anytime somebody says laser raptor, I'm going to have to say, fuck, laser raptor. Because he said that 4 times in a row. And he didn't do it the last time. And I was like, damn it! Do it again! All right. So is there anything else that you wanted to add to it?
I just want everyone to go watch the scene where Thor comes in and he flexes on them hoes.
Sweet pecs, bro.
No, I think I'm pretty well spent for the night.
Okay, I think we touched on a few things. I think we had some good laughs. I know we had a good time. I think we had, I don't know, at least one viewer at some point. So the the theoretical live podcast can happen. You can watch this go down live.
Yeah.
And then hear a mildly edited version later.
Sure.
Because, we're not professionals yet. We're working on it. We're still very new. When we're, a little bit better, maybe whenever we've had 20 or 30 shows, we can see the errors of our ways and maybe we won't have to edit then. But I can say this, we're not editing very much right now.
That's a lot of shows, 20, 30 shows.
Yeah,
I can't wait.
Yeah, that's not that far away.
No, it's really not.
Rate that, because we're recording roughly 2 a week and I'm putting out 1 a week.
Right.
So I'm trying to get a library stocked up. So that way, if I need to take a couple of weeks off, I can. But people won't be without their Squadcast.
Right.
It's
for the people.
It's for the people. I'm doing it for everybody else as much as I'm doing it to stroke my own ego.
I've been thinking about coming and do this for a hot minute anyway, because especially after listening to the first episode that you just released, it got me excited about doing another one. I can't wait to do one with Jason here.
Yeah, it's been really tricky with Jason's schedule.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so there's a few things that's happened to me over the last week. I got injured pretty badly.
Yeah.
Last week. I don't even know if you know about this or not. So my day job, I do home inspections.
In his night job, he's an all-male porn star.
Lance Biggerstaff.
Lance Biggerstaff?
Do not Google it.
Googling it now.
Don't Google my dorsal fin either. So many inside jokes that nobody ever is going to catch except for like the one listener, the one person I know that might listen, might get that joke. So I'm a property inspector. I check out houses. Monday of last week, whenever I was checking out, I was trying to gain entrance through the back porch, and it was raining. The porch was shaded, so it had that like slimy green mold. It was an older porch.
Ooh.
And the top step wasn't nailed down, and I didn't realize that whenever I'd come up. And whenever I stepped on it, that step completely gave away, and I fell. I have a terrible back, and I fell and landed squarely onto the worst part of my back. I fell off the side of it onto the ground, and from there I kind of bounced, and there was a dugout, concrete basement entrance, and I fell into that concrete dugout. There was probably about another 4 or 5 foot drop onto another set of stairs onto the bad part of my back. So needless to say, my back has been wrecked. I'm just now getting to where I can stand and sit without making horrible noises, and I can move my neck and stuff again now. I'm off the pain meds. I just decided I'm going to stop taking them altogether.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of them either.
And I'm actually, since I stopped taking the pain meds, I started staying awake because I pretty much was in a coma for about 4 days straight. Like I would literally wake up and I would eat something because I have to eat something to take the meds. And I would eat something, I'd watch TV for like an hour, and then the next wave of the meds would kick in, and then I'd be out for 8 to 10 hours. And then I would wake up, I would have to eat something because it's time to take the meds again. I'd watch TV for an hour, and then I was out. And this is how I lived for 4 or 5 days straight. So I was like, I'm not taking meds anymore. I'm just going to deal with the pain. But I'm better now. I'm alert. I have my wits about me. And
I can't say the same for myself.
Yeah. Well, what I was getting at is I had a rough week. Jason has started a second job, because like I said, we're not professionals. We're just people.
Yep.
We have regular day jobs, and we don't make much money at that. Hence us all having 1 to 2 jobs. But hopefully we can get a date set where Jason can be on here on the regular. I think we're going to try podcasting every Thursday and every Sunday. I think is the schedule. And of course, anytime you want to come down and podcast, and if I don't have anything pending, sure, why not? We'll press record.
Shoot, yeah. We can talk about a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah. Well, can't say that out loud because it's not confirmed yet.
Okay.
All right. So, anything that you want to bring some light to? Anything you want to get people to go have a look at?
No, just support your local anything that gets you excited. If you see project like anything on Kickstarter, throw them $5. You might think that it's not going to make a difference. It does.
Yeah, why not?
Everything adds up. It shows that there's support.
If you have the $5,
Yeah, throw it to whatever gets you off. Whatever makes you happy.
it probably make you feel good about it too.
It will, and especially when it comes out, you'd be like, you know what?
I was part of this.
I was part of that. So
I helped make this be a thing.
support your local passions, whether that's music, whether that's theater, whether that's anything. Support it.
Arts.
Anything that
Arts.
someone's doing that you may or may not even like, support it, because it goes a long way. It really does. The world needs a better community.
Okay,
It starts with you.
If we're doing the just because you know.
When did this become an after-school special?
Well, this is our G.I. Joe PSA. Do something nice for one person. Seriously.
Wow.
Do something nice for one person. It might be a special hat. No, seriously, do something nice for somebody. A family member, a friend, a stranger, especially a stranger.
Especially a stranger.
I've been having fun doing this. Probably about, I'd say once a month. Usually around whenever I get paid.
Yeah.
Whenever I go like through a drive-through when it's busy.
Yeah.
I'll pay for my lunch and the person behind me.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that do that at our job.
Mhm.
It's really cool. I think it makes me, I'm not even involved in it other than taking the cash, and it makes me feel good about it.
Right.
So you can only imagine.
It makes me feel good. I do this once a month. I get that started. I think it's fun. I've come into it probably about 3 times over the last 4 or 5 years since that became a thing.
Yeah, the pay it forward thing.
Yeah, the whole pay it forward thing. But I mean, it's a lot of fun.
I'll close with this part of what I've seen is there was one particular customer in my drive-thru. No, I'm sorry, in my lobby, who did the pay it forward, and the person behind them. I mean, I don't know if they like turned around and looked and thought, they're probably going to need it or something like that, or they just wanted to do it. But the person really did. Like, they were blown away, and so when they got their receipt and they were like, I don't know you anything. I was like, no, it's good. It was taken care of, the person before you got it. And they just went over and hugged him and was like crying in the lobby, and they became friends. They were sitting down eating lunch together, and they left together. And I was like,
Wow, that's
that's
neat.
really cool that happened out of just someone wanted to be kind.
Yeah, I've never heard of that happening in a lobby like that.
Yeah.
In a drive-thru,
Yeah.
it's a little impersonal. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to come and invade your
Yeah.
space, but let me do something nice for a stranger.
Yeah, it was so cool. It was really cool. So little things like that really do make you have no idea. And I try to tell this with my crew too, because a lot of people are like, this customer is so rude, and you really have no idea what that person has just gone through.
Right.
Like
They could have had the worst day of their life.
their boyfriend and their girlfriend could have just literally shit on them, like could have left them for their cousin and screwing their dog. And here they are just trying to get their shit together, getting a Baconator, and then now you're being the shitty person. Just, I don't know. I don't know where I'm getting off on this, but just be nice to your neighbor.
Yeah. Always. Be excellent to each other.
Be excellent to each other. Wild stallions! All right, man. Well, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap this up now.
You guys tune in next week. Sure, it'll be Jason at the same back time, same bad channel with you.
Yeah, we're hoping we're going to have a special guest come in on Thursday.
Yep.
It's completely unconfirmed at this
Oh,
point.
Man, I really want to do it. We can't say anything else,
Yeah,
but I really want to be part of it.
Yeah, I don't want to say who it is, but we have a special guest that's coming in on Thursday, providing schedules work out.
And also, I know that we tossed it around last time. I still really want to try doing this with a board game.
Yeah, we might look into it now that we have the webcam capabilities. It's slightly more possible, so
Yeah.
at least that'll make a little more sense.
We apologize for the shoddy quality if you happen to look at it. It's not the greatest in the world, but it works.
Yeah, you can literally blame Frontier for the crappy viewership and the sketchiness of it, because I have the best I can possibly get, and it's just slightly above dollop.
You know what I realized? The whole time in this podcast, we've had a third guest. My effects pedals. It's the most expensive guest we've had here.
If you haven't, go to myspace.com/the Squadcast. Hit the like button. That way you can keep up with everything that we're doing today.
Did you say MySpace?
I did say, did I say MySpace?
You did.
Oh my God. I can tell you why I said MySpace. Look over your left shoulder.
That's why.
Yep, that's why. Because I'm looking at a banner directly behind Patrick's head. You can't see on the video, but directly behind him is a banner I had made a billion years ago when MySpace was relevant. And it says the name of my then recording studio, and below it was the MySpace link. Oh, jeez. This is how you know. This is how you know.
This is how you know.
This is how you know.
We
Facebook.com/the Squadcast.
we should do a segment called "This Is How You Know."
This is how you know. All right, I'm Wayne Tango.
I'm Dremindy Boy.
Ladies, lose the dignity, keep the modesty. We got
Keep it classy.
keep it classy, San Diego.